told me I only had 5 minutes, so I had I have notes, so I stay on track. So first, sit. You know, it's hard. They see people that have meant so much in their lives at some point. Puppy raisers are amazing. So thank you, puppy raisers, for pouring yourself into these dogs. They definitely remember it. It can be years, but they see you and they come all unglued. So puppy raisers, thank you. Trainers back at CCI that train these dogs put in so much time training them. And have a little story about that. We were in Sam's Club. Any of you guys shop at Sam's Club? A man 2 registers over must have known that speak was a command for one of these dogs. And he kept giving that command, very assertive, to my dog. And this was right after we got home and we're out in public. And I didn't know why he was talking to my dog. He didn't know his name, so he wasn't using the name first, which is part of what you do when you ask for a command. But he was asking him to speak. I thought, well, why is he doing that? Because he's trying to get my dog to bark. And so Lego just looked up at me and was like a little confused, just looking. I said, I don't know, buddy. I don't know him either. He's a stranger, so you don't talk to strangers. But and so we left. And so we get in the car, and my daughter, who's graduating from high school in 2 months, she said, Mom, does he really speak if somebody tells him to do it? And I said, yes, he does. Mm-hmm. And she says, well, are you sure? And I said, yes. And I said, if I was ever, if I had fallen or I need something and I can't call out and I need somebody, I said, he can call out for me. He can be my voice. And Lego, speak. So he can definitely do well over 40 commands. And so the trainers, they do an incredible job. The fact that he knew that somebody was asking him to do something that he'd been trained to do, but he knew that wasn't his person, and he really wasn't supposed to take orders from that person. So my daughter tried it in the car. It didn't work. And she goes, why isn't it working? I said, because he's looking at me. I said, if I wasn't in the car, he would probably do it. And the next time I wasn't with her, she tried it, and he did it because he was the second in command. At this point now, she's taking care of him, and I'm not there. So she was very impressed with how smart they are and how well trained they are. The other volunteers that put in so much time with this organization, the ones that make lunch and bring lunch when we're there in team training, that meant the world to all of us who were in 8-hour-a-day classes, learning how to get the best out of these dogs. So the volunteers. And last but not least, donors that donate the financial support that get these dogs to this end result. This couldn't happen without you. So the people that give of their funds, in addition to time, you guys mean the world to us residents. That he has seen somebody he hasn't seen in a long time and just can't wait to reunite with you off leash. But my story is in 2004, so almost 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And the biggest symptom that I struggle with right now at this point is fatigue. And it got to the point where I had to reduce my work from 40 hours down to 30 and go home and rest because I was almost passing out at 5 o'clock at the end of the day. So the doctor, the neurologist said, you are going to have to just cut your hours and work less hours. Then we realized, I read an article in an MS magazine that said if you get a dog, don't wait until you need a dog. Get a dog now when you can start incorporating them into your life and finding out the ways that they can help you. So there are a lot of things that he can do that help me. He can pick up items I drop, which is huge because I drop everything. He can turn on and off lights. He can open and close doors. I love the places that have push plates that you can just push because he pushes those and opens the doors for me. And I'm always amazed at all the people behind me that see him push the push plate, open the door for me, and they're like, oh my gosh, did you see that? The dog just opened the door for me. So that part's really kind of funny. I kind of act like I don't hear them, but in my inside I'm smiling. But we received Lego, and he's done a lot for me. He's really helped preserve some of the energy that I was burning on some smaller tasks that he's been able to help with. Then a few years ago, I developed an anxiety about being out in public alone. If I needed to run to the store, I wouldn't go if my husband Chris or my daughter Emily couldn't go with me, because I just had a fear about being in public alone. And so when I read this article, I thought, we really should make application now, because they say it's a long process, and that you need to, while you're healthy, you need to learn how to incorporate him and how he can help you with this disability. So we went ahead and made application, and 2 years later, we did get Lego. I was so excited. Like I said, don't sit. He goes everywhere I go. We're together 24/7.
I know.
So the bond we share, I just can't put it into words. I know him so well, he knows me so well, and so some people say, oh, you take such good care of him, or they'll say, oh, he takes such good care of you, and that's true, we do take care of each other. There's times when I'm taking care of him, and there's times when he's taking care of me. He goes to work with me, and by the way, I was off today because I was traveling here, and I'll be off tomorrow, so my coworkers said, why are you off on Monday and Tuesday? And I said, well, I'm going down to speak about how Lego helps my life, and they said, please tell them how much he helps our life. And I said, but he's not your dog. And they said, it doesn't matter. They said, we love you. And it's true. When I walk in the morning, you hear, hi Lego, hi Lego, hi Lego. Nobody says hi to Heather anymore. Heather does what it says. Lego does. Now when they're having a really bad moment, they'll come to my desk and they'll kneel down on the floor where he's laying on a dog bed under my floor. He doesn't usually whine this much. But they'll come over and they'll say, I'm pretending like I have a question for you, but really I just need to touch these soft ears, because after that, I know everything's going to be okay. And I said, okay, that's allowed. So sometimes they just need to take a minute and come visit my desk. Even before being invited to team training, which means I was about to receive a dog, we were starting to be invited to events. So the graduations and the fundraising events. And so we became part of the CCI family starting very early on. We saw graduations, we got really excited, couldn't wait for the day that we were going to be on that stage graduating. And so then when we got to team training, we met Chris and Shelley, and they were our trainers for our particular class. And the support did not stop there. The support did not stop there. Once we were released and went home, they continued to call to make sure we weren't having any issues that we needed to work through or any questions. Jen and Melinda were head of the training program, and they would continue to give support in, like, when I returned to work, they wanted to make sure, what happens if this dog bites somebody? This dog isn't going to bite anybody, but I understand your concern. They said, whose insurance is going to cover that? CCI has every dog insured. You're going to be fine. And so they provided documentation to my employers so that they would know they'd be covered if there was ever an event like that. Jeannie and Martha, they became these welcoming faces that just every time we would come to these events, they just, give you a hug, and you just felt like you had just become part of a new family. And so it's like you gain parents and siblings and aunts and uncles all at the same time, and you just now have a second family. And so I would just like to say thank you so much for anybody who has any part of CCI, whether it's puppy raising or volunteering, just manning a table at an event or anything. Thank you so much for helping out, because what it means to us as recipients when we get these dogs, we get now independence, mobility in our life, and it makes our life just so much better. And I just love the story that the inmates have shared about how it turned their life around, because it turned my life around, and I know, it just meant so much to me, so I can understand how it meant so much to them. So please consider, he's giving up.
It's all about Lego.
He's been with me long enough. When we run into somebody I know, now all of a sudden he just lays down and goes, oh my gosh, she started talking, it's going to be at least 15 minutes. So please consider becoming part of our growing family and becoming a part of CCI. And so now I think John's going to come back up and talk to you more about how to do that. But thank you so much for everything.